Life has a strange way of teaching lessons when we least expect them. Sometimes the most powerful truths don't come from the boardroom, from wealth, or from success, but from the innocence of a child. Today's story is about a man who had everything money could buy: luxury, respect, and power, but discovered the most valuable lesson of his life not through business, but through his little daughter. A lesson that changed his heart forever. Before we begin, make sure you stay with us until the end, because the way this story unfolds will leave you speechless. And if you enjoy heartwarming stories that inspire kindness and remind us of life's real meaning, don't forget to follow along for more. Our story begins with a man named Richard. He was a self-made millionaire, a man who had risen from nothing to everything. He built his empire with hard work, sacrifice, and determination. His house was a mansion, his cars were the most expensive brands, and his bank account never ran dry. People envied him. They believed he was the luckiest man alive. But deep inside, Richard carried something no one else could see: a growing emptiness. You see, Richard worked long hours. He was out of the house before sunrise and returned late at night. His calendar was filled with meetings, deals, and endless phone calls. He loved his daughter, Emily, more than words could ever describe. She was his little princess, the joy of his life. But Emily was only 6 years old, and like any child, she craved time, love, and attention from her father. Sadly, those were the things Richard's wealth couldn't buy back. Emily would often wait for him at night, sitting by the window with her teddy bear, hoping to hear the sound of his car. But most nights, she would fall asleep waiting. Richard, meanwhile, believed he was doing all this work for her, to give her the best education, the best toys, the best future. Yet, Emily didn't want toys or dresses or fancy vacations. She only wanted him. One Friday evening, something unusual happened. Richard's last meeting of the day was cancelled. For the first time in months, he found himself free earlier than expected. He thought about calling a friend, maybe heading to his club, but then a thought crossed his mind: what if I go home and surprise Emily? The idea warmed his heart. He imagined her little face lighting up when she saw him walk through the door earlier than usual. Smiling to himself, Richard decided to head straight home. The drive back seemed different that evening. The streets looked brighter, the air fresher. For once, he wasn't rushing to the next appointment. When he reached the grand gates of his mansion, he felt an excitement he hadn't felt in years. He parked his car quietly, wanting to surprise Emily. But as he walked toward the house, he noticed something unusual. The lights in Emily's room were on, even though it wasn't bedtime yet. He stepped inside, placing his briefcase down gently, and moved toward the staircase. As he climbed up, he heard a soft voice. It was Emily's. Curious, he stopped in front of her room and peeked through the slightly open door. What he saw froze him in his tracks. Emily was sitting on the floor with her teddy bear, but she wasn't just playing. She had set up a small table, and on it was a piggy bank, some coins, and a notebook. She was pretending to be at a shop, carefully counting her little savings. But what caught Richard's attention were her words. She was whispering to her teddy bear as if it was a customer. "Don't worry, Mr. Bear," she said softly. "I almost have enough money. Soon, I'll buy some time with Daddy. He's always busy, but maybe if I have enough, I can pay him to stay home with me." Richard's heart stopped, his eyes widened, and he felt tears rising. Instantly, Emily continued, unaware of his presence. "Today I saved 3 more coins," she said proudly, dropping them into the piggy bank. "I know Daddy works very hard, but I miss him. Maybe if I give him all my money, he won't have to go to work tomorrow. Then we can play in the garden, and he can read me a story before bed, like he used to." Richard felt a lump in his throat. He couldn't believe what he was hearing. His little girl thought she had to buy his time, that his love and presence came with a price. All the wealth he had accumulated, all the hours he had spent chasing success, none of it mattered in that moment. The only thing that mattered was the broken heart of his daughter, who longed for her father's attention. Unable to hold back anymore, Richard pushed open the door. Emily looked up, startled, and her eyes lit up when she saw him. "Daddy," she cried, jumping up and running into his arms. Richard knelt down and hugged her tightly, tears streaming down his face. "Emily, my sweet girl," he whispered, "what were you doing?" Emily hesitated, then pointed to her piggy bank. "I was saving money, so I could buy your time. I know you're always busy at work, but I thought if I gave you all my coins, maybe you could stay home with me." Richard's heart shattered. He held her even tighter, his tears wetting her hair. "Oh, my darling," he choked out, "you never have to buy my time. My time belongs to you. You are the most precious thing in my life. I'm so sorry if I made you feel like work is more important than you. It's not. It never was." Emily hugged him back, her small arms wrapping around his neck. "I just miss you, Daddy," she said innocently. "I don't care about toys or trips. I just want to be with you." Those words pierced Richard's soul deeper than any business failure ever could. In that moment, he realized how blind he had been. He thought he was being a good father by providing everything material for his daughter. But in truth, what she needed most was the one thing he kept giving away to his business, his presence. That night, Richard didn't leave Emily's side. They sat together, playing, talking, and laughing until she fell asleep in his arms. For the first time in years, Richard felt true peace. The next morning, Richard woke up with a new determination. He looked at his busy calendar filled with meetings and calls and made a decision. He canceled them all. His assistants were shocked, his partners confused. But Richard didn't care. He had finally understood the real meaning of success. It wasn't about money, cars, or big houses. Success was seeing his daughter smile, hearing her laughter, and being part of her world. Over the following weeks, Richard changed his life completely. He reduced his working hours, delegated responsibilities, and made family time his priority. Every evening, he was home to have dinner with Emily and tuck her into bed. They went on walks together, planted flowers in the garden, and even baked cookies, something Richard had never done before. Emily's joy grew brighter each day, and with it, Richard's heart healed. One Sunday afternoon, as they were sitting in the backyard having a picnic, Emily looked at him and said something that melted him once again. "Daddy, you don't need to work so much anymore. I don't want to buy your time anymore. I'm just happy you're here." Richard smiled, kissed her forehead, and whispered, "And I'll always be here, my princess. No amount of money in the world could ever replace you." From that day on, Richard's mansion was no longer just a house filled with expensive things. It became a home filled with love, laughter, and the bond between a father and his daughter. Richard realized that life's greatest treasures are not found in bank accounts or business deals, but in the moments we share with the people we love. And so, the man who once measured success by wealth now measured it by smiles, hugs, and bedtime stories. The millionaire father who came home early one evening discovered a truth that forever changed him, that the most valuable currency in the world is love, and the best investment a parent can ever make is time with their child. So, dear friends, remember this: money can buy many things, but it can never buy back lost time. If you have someone you love, don't wait for tomorrow. Give them your time today. Because one day, they might not be there to ask for it, and you'll realize too late that time was the most precious gift of all. Thank you for watching this story. If it touched your heart, share it with someone who needs this reminder. And always remember, true wealth isn't what's in your wallet, it's who's waiting for you at home.